Welcome to Banner Saga. The gods are dead. In their wake, man and giant survived through a tenuous alliance, driving black destroyers called Dredge deep into the northern wastes. Now is an era of growth and trade. Life goes on. Only one thing has stopped: the sun. It's pretty bad when the sun stops.
Að sjá dreggjana á ferli meðal vor. It has been several long months on the road. The first signs of snowfall accost us on our approach to Strand, largest of the trade cities on the Varl human borders, and our last collection before returning to the capital. Several days ago, the sun simply came to a stop in the sky. Though during these long winter days, none of us can be certain how long it has been this way. Some of the men in the caravan have taken it as a dire omen. I am not quick to superstition, but I myself will be glad to be done with this year's rounds.
There's little humans on the bridge.
We have been warned by stranded travelers about brigands on the path through Ridgehorn, our road home. Our captain seems unconcerned. Perhaps he is as eager as I to be done here. We will rest here this day and inquire further when we speak to the governor.
Governor? Ja. The Varl. Horns.
Komið skjótt! Komið í höllina miklu!
Oh no! Discord.
Ég leyfa oss að byggja!
The Varl have arrived. Puny humans. Dead. You dead too. They all dead.
Hverfið á braut!
Do the tutorial. Yeah, so it's pretty simple. Tell me where the stuff is. But go here. Then attack him. Murderize. So they have armor and attack, and you sometimes have to beat down the armor first. Yep, that's what they're explaining. And then I don't need to use a special. I can do 6 damage if I want to, if I have enough stuff to do it. And then you get renown, which lets you upgrade. Turns always, yep. Despite the full strength, the chieftain will do little damage against your high armor. Alright, use your willpower to get all the way over there. And then he has a cleave attack, which he's about to wreck. Use the special ability, the Tempest. Bam! Pillage mode is where it's just a different turn order thing. And now you have to use one to extend to get the full damage. And that's it. And he's just chilling. He's not a fighter. Oh, there's a bear. Some of these backgrounds.
Like a rabid wolf, that one. How did it come to this? We fool ourselves believing that peace will last. My grandfather built all this from a poor fishing village, you know. He watched the gods die, watched the chaos that followed, watched man and Varl slaughter each other, even before the Dredge arose. All we've done is traded one struggle for another. Now that there are no more Dredge to war against, we war against ourselves.
This chieftain meant to kill me, and he's not the first. A dozen families in the city would gladly take my chair. This one had men waylaying merchants, both north and south of the city, strangling trade quite well, I would add, though he denied it to his lust. This sort of wolf doesn't stop biting because the head is cut off. It just grows a new head. I'm in a bad way, my friend. Help me finish this fight, and I'll gladly send you on your way with double our king's tithe.
Double the
Take
tithe.
any men you need. They're loyal. I promise you that. They will meet you down in the proving grounds.
So why do they not like him? That's a good question. Was he like murdering random peasants? Or is they just like greedy for power? Who knows? Ah, you're approached by a familiar man who walks in step with you as you're leaving the Great Hall. He cuts to the chase. Eirik, steward of Strand. I manage the governor's business. Uben, isn't it? Uben, isn't it? It is. The governor tells me you'll be giving us a hand. What did you have in mind? Scalfings that you didn't hack up the Great Hall scattered after you took out the chieftain. The governor just wants to make sure that they stay down. I was hoping you'd join me at the marketplace by the docks. If there's anyone left to worry about, I know who can tell us. Click the market to visit the market. So we got items and supplies. Let me handle this. You meander through the rows of open-face houses and eroded stalls. Colored canvases flap on a briny current. One man in particular blanches as you approach. Had, I'm not in the mood today. For what? Talking to an idiot. The Scalfing's chieftain bled out about an hour ago, Had. So when you tell me what rat anus the rest of them crawled back into, nobody's going to try to kill you this time. I didn't talk to... They don't talk to me. Need some help? Had. I had a change of heart. I hope you do give us a hard time. He sweats visibly, fumbling with his dirty trinkets on his table. Wait, just buy one of these. If everybody thinks I'm getting worked over every week, how am I supposed to know much? Just a little food money, yeah? Why not? He tosses a sliver of silver on the table. Both men look at you with surprise. Had gestures meekly to a variety of junk from his stall. Take whatever you like. Only thing I like is the name of the place. Nobleman, up by Eastwall. But that was months ago, last I know. Had sulks away with a wave of Eirik's hand, gathering things from his hovel, disappearing for a while until this blows over, you figure. Your bodyguard steps forward. Gunnolf, are we done here? Gunnolf, were you wearing green back at the Great Hall? No, just bought them while you were walking around. Why? Oh, they look good. They look good. Green's a good color. I'm glad you care. Goes off to look at more stalls. Wonder what the purpose of that is. Eirik, that man of yours, seemed unreliable at best. A blind dog wouldn't trust Had, but he used to be Scalfing. If they're licking their wounds, they're probably gone to old haunts, not new ones. Nobleman is a mead hall? Best I can tell, the name's ironic. Listen, I know a guy who would love to put a few of these skulls in the ground. I'm going to find him. I'll meet you there. Approach. After I'm done here, of course. It's not up to me, my friend. Just make sure the governor remembers his promise. Double the usual tithe. I'll remind him. Okay, so I can't go direct, and I have no other options than just straight to the meat house, which works for me. You arrive in front of what must be Nobleman. A few minutes later, Eirik appears, with a weather-beaten man introduced as Valgard. I'll point them out. Eirik says over his shoulder, ready? Walk through the front door. Let's get it over with. That's the spirit. Okay, here we go. Volgrad boots the front door open so hard it won't close again without repair. As you enter the hall, Eric is already at the head of the table, his axe drawn. Wide-eyed, drunken scaffoldings scramble to find their own weapons, turning tables and mead stains in the process. Little group there. Okay, we got some numbers to deal with. We got allies. And then he just chills. They've got no archers. Their range is going to be about here. So why don't you shield wall it, and you go there. Let's do that. What kind of range? He could extend to here potentially. So yeah, so why don't you just move up one? He can pass through. This guy, yeah, if we fight from a flank, should be to our advantage. Yeah, so you're just gonna move one. And what's their range? They can go to there. But this guy's gonna be in it soon enough. Let's not waste this first strike. They will get a hit on him, but not a big deal. He's got some health. Yeah, they can't do much there, so let's just get him in position. Do some wrecking. Just do your shield wall. And then that's just for himself. So that doesn't really help. Interesting. Yeah, so let's have him go here. Take him out from this angle. So he'll have to expend if he wants to attack me. Oh, they've got... So if I could sneak him in there, that would be beautiful. This guy will go somewhere. And, if I could double extend, and that could be beautiful. Who's on the order? That guy. So it shouldn't really matter. Oh. This guy's got more health. So let's take him down. That's just fine. He's about to do something special. Oh, he can't. I'm very sad for him. Yeah, that sucks. Didn't work in my favor. He needs to just... He could do that. What's next? He's next. So why don't you... Whoop. That should do it. Fill the gap. Flank him. Whoa, no. That's what I meant to do. Get your promotion. Oh, he's not doing so hot. Let's get some break going. Bite. And use the special. Very nice. Yep, he's ready for promotion. He's ready for promotion. Gunnulf. There they are. Gods be damned. I've got to go wash off this blood. Eric is looking out the hall's window onto the bay. A fleet of longships approach with sails of bold reds and blues. One banner I know well. Wagner. Next for Varl kingship last we spoke. The other flag? Looks important. Yeah, important guests. See what I deal with all day long? Things make a little more sense. You hoped I'd have a stake in saying everything's fine here when the royal guests arrived. Not me, the governor. Now I have to make sure there are no rotting bodies or pools of entrails still in the Great Hall before they come by. Can I ask one more favor? What is it? If you happen to stall our guests down on the docks, I wouldn't object. Maybe I will. Eric and Volgard hustle from the mead house. To his credit, Eric tosses the barkeep a bar of silver for the mess. You give an apologetic shrug and go to greet the new arrivals down at the docks. Important information, perhaps. Oh, that's quite a fleet. They're really coming in. Wagner, still holding his thing. A familiar Varro steps onto the docks. In your mind, you recall a much younger version, trampling the halls of Grofheim, abundant in purpose. God, Zubin, you're looking ancient. Comes with being old. And if there is Wagner, there must be Hakon. Must there? Still bleeding tributes from the poor and stupid old yaks. At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Jorundur demands it. I'll take that over lingering to death in Grofheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. Just returned from Aberang, in fact. And glad for it. Hakon motions to the ships in the bay, sails still fluttering. Golden wolf head emblazed on red. The king of men, or someone of his behalf. The king's whelp. The king's son, Luden. Don't you know, Scrivener? We visit his capital, he visits ours. It's how you make alliances these days. It's a miserable waste of time. Yes, Hakon has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hakon. Then you're going to Grofheim? I have the distinct feeling I've finished my business in Strand and was heading there myself. We should caravan. We should. Give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink a week away, but, let's just be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What he's trying to say is the prince is a delight to behold. Where is Moger? Hakon. Have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. Host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few. Others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find Moger. See you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. The young prince of men ambles from his ship, brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Luden looks for all the world the sort of boy who grew up pulling the legs from spiders. The long road back to Grofheim should be more interesting than most years, you think. To the Great Hall! Wait, never mind. Weariness suddenly settles in, and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it has been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Wagner's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon, or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. Now, the prince, I should get a beat on the prince from this guy. Scrivener! You find Hakon in a mead house surrounded by other Varl. Strand is no stranger to the Varl, but rarely sees this many. Hakon waves you over. Went straight for a flagon? Wagner's one who agreed to pass up a drink. I wasn't invited to the governor's hall anyway. You already missed the massacre. Every year I make the rounds collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise. What this time? When I got here to the Great Hall, it was already full of bodies. We added a few more. Ha, humans. I guess if I only lived as long as a yox fart, I might be desperate to make something for myself too. It's not too late to start trying, Hakon. Hakon let slip a low chuckle. Any Varl could recount his deeds, known for as he is for cutting a swath through dredge at Wagner's side in the Second War, and regularly since then. Down here I'm a glorified bodyguard. You might have a point. Just another reason to get back to Grofheim. Soon enough, I imagine. You drink until the mead house becomes overbearing, then step back into the cool air outside. And now we'll see the prince, in the next episode. So catch y'all then.